You read it. I'm putting your phone away. I'm not trying to hit on the facts right now. I just want feelings. I don't know.
Aren't you guys a little bit concerned that the goals seem to only be coming from one source, whereas at least with other clubs, namely Arsenal, the goals are being distributed?
He needs to figure out if he wants to be a striker or a DM. But he goes so deep.
So at what point do you guys say we have to start looking at Klopp?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're listening. Welcome to another installment of Podcast Pundits, episode 2. I'm Drayman, an avid United fan, just to let everyone know, and I'll be your host for today. Before I get into the pod, just wanted to do a big shout out to everyone that's actually just tuning in.
Oh, free of y'all.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit more than that, but no, big love for you guys, for your thoughts, suggestions, everything you're telling us, because we're going to try and improve as best we can and hopefully make it more enjoyable for you guys every week, and with a little bit of banter, why not? Also find us on all major platforms, Spotify, Apple, Instagram, Twitter.
We're everywhere, baby.
And,
Exactly.
and Google Podcasts, because somebody was complaining that we weren't on Google Podcasts, so we fixed that for you.
Brilliant. Anyway, let's crack on. We've had one hell of a weekend in the world of Premier League football. But before we start, just a quick intro to everyone. To my left, Samuel de la Strada.
Yeah, De La Strada, a man of many faces. Sometimes Chelsea, no, sometimes Newcastle, sometimes Arsenal, sometimes Man City.
Not Chelsea.
Sometimes Chelsea, it sounds like.
No, it just slipped up, but it's never Chelsea. But yeah, that's
Is
me.
it about who has the most money by any chance?
No. I'm a man of football, so I like to,
Keep it moving.
I can tell you my history of why I supported Newcastle, but we're not going to go in there. So yeah, let's leave it as
Okay,
that.
dudes, let's move on to Strive. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, sorry guys, man. I'm just consuming a sweet at the moment. Strives. I'm an Arsenal fan. Always been an Arsenal fan ever since. I grew up in Turnham. Went to school with Ian Wright and stuff. Well, Ian Wright's son and stuff like that. And I didn't do this to nobody else, man. Just giving you the backdrop. So basically Ian Wright and his family got me into Arsenal. I've never looked back. I also support Belmont Athletic, but currently the club is dormant.
Fair dues. Let's move in on Marley Mar.
What up, Dre? You good?
I'm good. You wearing your Man United training top today?
Yeah, I'm wearing the whole garb. I came in with the Man United hat, the Man United top, the Man United t-shirt. Don't know, repping the thing today, innit? You see it?
Yeah,
Man United supporter from day dot. I say day dot.
Where do you live? Where do you live?
Right now.
Don't disclose that.
Where have you always lived?
Don't disclose
London?
I live in London.
Okay.
Yeah, I live in London. But my uncle used to play for Manchester United.
Come on.
That's a lie, but you can research that.
Come on,
Yeah, Man United supporter, and the mistress is Crystal Palace. We can explain the mistress in a later episode.
Excellent. Appropriate wear, definitely. And Joey Normatic, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm alright, man. Yeah. Joey,
Why did you shout like that, man?
Liverpool supporter. Dulwich Hamlet supporter as well. I like football. I like Ribena. I like life, man. That's all I have to say, man. Fuck.
How was your weekend, aside from obviously the obvious?
Oh, it's just working hard, man. Got a little building project going on.
I know.
And it's rounding the final stages, man. So I've just been focused on that.
Lights at the end of the tunnel?
Lights at the end of the tunnel, man. We're there.
Big boy builder.
Ribbon
Big boy
cutting
builder.
coming soon. So
Check him out.
new studio, everything ready to go.
Come on.
Workout zone. I'm gassed, man. So yeah, man. Nice thing.
Good. Well, it's only fair to start with the big Manchester derby this weekend. So Manchester's really red. That's what they're saying now. Yep, you heard me loud. I'll say it again. Manchester is really red.
Manchester is red.
And
What a game.
yeah, they pulled off an outstanding performance to beat City 2-1. We'll delve into the talking points, whether there should have been at least one penalty and whether Bruno's goal was the right decision. I think it's only fair to start with you, Malima.
Yeah, I'm feeling good, man. I'm not going to lie. Like, it was a first game on a Saturday morning. So needless to say, it set up the day and the weekend in a most magnificent way possible. Ten's done it again. He's just proven everyone correct. Like he's the truth, man. He's the truth. Like you look at his team sheet, courageous in putting Shaw centre back as usual.
Again,
courageous putting Wan-Bissaka in the team and against the champions.
But what choice did he have, though?
Listen, when I say courageous, hear the courageous. Hear the C in the courageous. It was courageous, my friend. Brought in Fred. I thought that was a bit of a masterstroke. Speaking in my Man United groups, wondering how he's going to deal with the midfield. Fred was touted around, just to shut down KDB. He happened to do that in the game. Followed him all around. Yeah, man, Ten got it right, man. Ten got it right. It was a good game. Obviously, there was a few talking points within the game.
Defo.
But yeah, man, the boys done it. Very, very good leading into this week, and then moving to the Emirates on the Sunday.
The thing I like about 10 as well is that after, I think in his interview, he literally named every player. Almost every player. Like, brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Like, I don't think he left anyone out, because I think he's trying to show everyone we need to play as a team. And a lot of the time, Man United never played as a team.
Even Bruno. So Bruno said it. Obviously, Captain Bruno. He's then obviously the real captain of the club. He's come out and said just the attitude, the feeling around the club is just changed massively. Go for it.
No, when he said that, was that a? Do you think that was a shot to Ronaldo? Because he said it's recently. It said from in the past we didn't seem like a team. Yeah. Now we are. I
think it's a shot to Ronaldo. I think it's a shot to the old managers, because Rashford said it as well. So it's almost like it's the theme throughout the club at the minute, and I don't think it's just Ronaldo. I think it's Ralph Ragnick, who seemed pretty loose in his discipline. It's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was a good HR man. Wasn't really a manager, respectfully. Obviously a legend, but management's not your thing. Yeah, man. I think it's just a culture of the club right now.
Let's just move on to you, De La Strada, and if I just ask you, firstly, did you think that any of the decisions went against Man City in terms of penalty appeals?
Yes.
Okay, and then obviously once you've told me about that,
the penalty.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't think I saw that.
You didn't see the penalties?
Oh, for Foden.
Yeah, there was a couple. There was a couple.
One was on. Was it Haaland got one?
Yeah,
no,
there was Haaland
I
as
don't
well.
think any of them were, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, Haaland.
Weren't a penalty.
No,
none of them were, to be honest.
He went to kick the ball, strike the ball, and then he kicked.
Casemiro got his foot.
Yeah. I don't think they were a penalty.
From one angle, it did look like a penalty.
Yeah.
I think once they turn the camera around, you can see that
he just got a touch, right?
Yeah, he just got a touch.
Yeah, that's good.
But if he didn't get that touch and Haaland did kick his foot, it's penalty all day for me.
Yeah,
defo
100.
And what do we think about the Bruno goal? Because obviously that's a big talking point.
Well, sorry, can I ask, what do you think about that, bro?
Yeah, you got to speak on it.
I would just say that it's hard to interpret how that would turn out if Rashford wasn't there, if that makes sense.
That
Bro,
doesn't
man,
make sense at all. That makes no sense at all.
I'll keep it true.
That makes no sense at all.
Yeah, man.
If
This
it happened
guy's
against us, I would be livid. Absolutely, I'll be enraged.
And Ten said that as well.
I would be enraged. Like, and that's fair. Obviously, obviously, you're on the receiving end of being, the benefit. But if it was against us, I would have been fuming. So I understand where a City supporter might,
Yeah, let's have it right. That was offside all day, innit? Because he ran to get the ball, ran in front of Akanji.
Yeah.
And if you see the picture of when they take Rashford out of the shot, Akanji's very close.
Yeah, but bro, this is why I'm saying to you, I can't interpret that, because you can't interpret the speed of the ball from a picture.
But hang on, guys.
Offsides, full stop.
We watched the video. We watched the game. Like before, I called offside as soon as. I don't know what the VAR were reviewing. I think they again.
I don't think it was VAR. It was on the field.
No, because the VAR
reviewed it and said it wasn't
on. Was offside.
No, on the field, the linesman flagged, but the referee went to him and overruled it. I don't think
VAR
checked it, and
they did.
Okay.
So that just kind of confirms my theory that VAR is here for the entertainment, for the entertainment aspect.
I don't think it went VAR.
Yeah, I don't think it went through VAR.
Okay.
So what happened is the linesman flagged it, and then the referee went over to the linesman and spoke about it, and I guess the linesman told him what happened, and then he said it was a.
But they would have checked it.
They have to review it. VAR has to review every single goal.
I don't think they would have turned. I don't think they wouldn't have given it if they checked.
No
VAR.
Why not? if he's interfering. They've reviewed it and they said he did not interfere.
I always reference the Salah goal. Did Salah's goal get VAR?
Got VAR reviewed and they gave the goal.
Well, then they gave it as well. Same thing.
No, what do you mean? They gave the goal based on a rule.
This was the rule as well, though.
Yeah.
No, what was the rule though?
I think
Rashford didn't interfere with play.
Yeah,
he didn't touch the ball.
By the letter of the law, Rashford didn't interfere with play.
So what does
at any time
actual interference in play mean?
I think touching the ball, or if he basically had, for instance, like brushed up against the defender.
Yeah.
But
he didn't touch neither of them.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
They're not taking into account.
Do we all confirm that?
No, it is. No, it is.
Okay.
Tell us, Shada.
Are you finished?
No, yeah, go for it.
No, it's like for me, it's offside because it's simple. Because if you're the defender, Casemiro looked at Rashford and played the ball. Rashford is offside straight away. Obviously, the linesman can only flag it when Rashford touched the ball.
Can we assume for a second that Casemiro actually...
He didn't see Bruno. He did not meet the pass to Bruno. It was straight to Rashford. And on top of that, Rashford is... Obviously, Akanji obviously slows his run down. If Rashford wasn't there, he's sprinting and getting that ball.
100%.
And then on top of that... What's his name?
Even Walker would have got the
exactly. Everyone slowed down, and even if you look at it, it's more telling when the goalkeeper. I think if you saw the angle, he was only looking at Rashford. So he thought Rashford was going to shoot, then all of a sudden Bruno shoots.
So he had an open net to shoot
straight,
into as well.
So it's straight offside.
I think that what players are actually going to need to do, unless they change the rule, is actually run into players, because obviously what Akanji was doing, he checked his run because Rashford was there. He didn't want to run into him. But what players are going to need to start doing is actually running through guys.
That doesn't make sense. You're telling the players to do the referee's job.
Yeah, but that's why players dive. That's why players dive, because referees don't call it.
So what actually needs to happen is that the PGM, OL or whatever, they need to just do a better job in it, like really and truly, because like that was clearly offside in it. I think to everybody who doesn't have a bias, say that was offside. And everybody whose team, if that happened to them,
no one like it.
They'd all be pissed.
I can't believe that Drayman attempted to rationalise that.
What's the word?
I've been quiet, just waiting for my opportunity to speak. You guys have been talking. Drayman, you make me sick for that. Absolutely make me sick. He needs to be stripped of hosting duties next week. Yeah. First off, I want to correct Marley Marr, because he said that Fred had a flawless game.
I didn't say flawless.
We're getting there. I'm just saying, we seem to have forgotten that he let his eyes off KDB one time, and that one time they got punished.
No,
but then that was Jack. You're talking about the Jack Grealish goal, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The only goal.
To be fair, if he didn't come on, I don't know where Phil was in that game. Phil Foden.
But that doesn't negate the point that I'm making. Fred didn't have the flawless game.
Yeah,
that's Marley Marr said.
Do you blame Fred for that though? Because where the ball
he was deployed to do a job.
Hang on, where the ball came in from though, that's even though Fred is like man marking, you can't literally man mark them all over the pitch.
That was the one time he had a lapse of concentration, and that's the one time KDB made him suffer for it.
So what about
what else did he do in the 90 minutes?
What do you mean? He did his job. That job would have been enough if you guys didn't. You know what? This is how I equate Manchester United. It's like the referee is Santa, the VAR is like their elves, and Man United just seem to be like the children at Christmas Day, like getting their presents from the tree. If it wasn't for the presents, KDB's contribution may have been enough.
Could have been a game winner.
Could have been anyway. And to talk about the offside, while you guys were yapping away, I thought let me just get out the.
Arsenal fans love to talk about. No. It's been since Wenger. They love to talk about officiating. What's your lot's problem?
Yeah. All right, so
what is your lot's problem?
We ain't making the rules, bro. We ain't making the rules.
I'm
not.
Wins bats though.
Are you finished or is you done?
I'm finished, but I just know that you're win bats.
So obviously we know what the offside rule is meant to be, but it's been adapted over the years. Match of the day also brought this up. I'm going to also read out what it says. It says the game lawmakers, IFAB, International Football Association Board, have adjusted the rule.
Yeah. You read it, bro. I'm putting your phone away. I'm not trying to hear the facts right now. I just want feelings. I don't know pure feelings, bro.
I'm going to finish this. I'm going to finish this whether you like it or not.
I think your phone's dying, bro.
They have adjusted the rule saying a player will be considered to be offside when they make a clear attempt to play the ball, be close to the ball, and have an impact on the opponent.
But he didn't.
He definitely did.
He made a clear attempt to play the ball.
No. He
oh my God, he didn't.
Did he not jump over the ball before Bruno shot?
Nah, he didn't jump.
So now we're making up something.
He didn't jump.
Yo,
He just let it roll.
Or
It's just because I said that.
or to make an obvious action to have an impact of the opponents.
No, he definitely did that.
Thank you.
100.
He done all of those
Can you
things.
say it one more time, please? What was that?
So
No, he's taking the piss. Don't do it again, bro.
Is he?
No,
Is he?
do it.
listen, it's to be considered to be offside when they make a clear attempt to.
You walked right into that, bro. You walked right into that.
Anyway, now that we know what the rules are, that was definitely offside.
Okay.
There is absolutely no way that should have been given. Like, it was actually like, I'm glad that Marley Miles said it, and I'm glad Eric Ten Hag said it as well. Like, it actually made me, I've always had some respect for the fella,
yeah.
but for him to actually say that if he was on the other end, he'd be enraged. Like,
that's
kudos
fair.
to him. But
That's fair.
So I don't know about you, Jay, man. You've gone down in my estimation after how you just started this podcast. That
Bro,
was absolute robbery.
I'm just being honest.
No, it was
I'm not on
unfair.
the field, so I can't tell you.
No, of course. You just need to get your gifts, obviously. Like, when you get penalties against Arsenal and stuff, and you take your gifts, then you take your gifts now. What can you do? Just keep accepting them.
Well, we've got you, Strives. This might be going back to what you were saying before about Haaland, but he wasn't really in that game, was he?
Well, I'm glad that you said that, because, again, I was just doing a little bit of research before we met up. And if you remember, we were doing like some pilots, just practicing our craft and stuff like that. And one of the things that I said was, I'm getting a little bit irate that all the pundits are just writing off every other team, namely Arsenal, obviously, but just saying, oh, man, this is Manchester City's title to lose, etc., etc., etc. And my thing, I said, was, aren't you guys a little bit concerned that the goals seem to only be coming from one source, whereas at least with other clubs, namely Arsenal, the goals are being distributed? I remember one person in particular, Joey Nomadic, was telling me it's not important if goals come from everywhere around the pitch. I was like, what? I couldn't believe what I was listening to. But, sometimes you have to listen to a bit of garbage every now and again. And then
Who scored in that game?
Who scored in what game?
Grealish.
Okay. I'm just saying, isn't it? Like, it comes and it doesn't come.
So wait.
It comes and it doesn't come sometimes, but
wait, because I haven't finished. I also then said, I believe Man City. I also believe Man City aren't playing to the level that they have been playing at. So why is it just a given that they're going to win the league? I said all of this, and then I even said that I think somebody challenged me and said, name a player. I said, I don't think Bernardo Silva's been all that. Everyone, no, you don't know ball. You don't know ball.
Who said that?
I have to go back and listen.
Yeah. We'll go back and listen.
I don't think we can unless we make that a pilot 5.
Okay,
pilot 5. I don't know, but I believe. Pilot 5 definitely. Pilot 5 definitely. It was 2 months ago I called this. And Man City,
prove it.
Bro,
where's your receipt? Where's your receipt?
Bro,
I'm tired, bro, man.
Listen, every single thing. Remember what I say to people, I don't get into arguments. I can't win. That's why people always say, you always think you're right, because I am.
Prove it, bro. Prove it.
It's the eye test. Man City have not been looking like Man City.
They haven't.
But I called this 2 months ago.
Nobody disagreed with that, though.
You know what?
Did we disagree?
I'm going to lose it.
Did anybody disagree with that?
No, just to echo what Strive said, obviously, I agreed with what he was saying. And Man City, with Haaland, they improved their starting 11. But by getting rid of Jesus, Sterling, maybe Zinchenko, they weakened their squad. And you don't really win a championship with just your starting 11. And I think what they're finding out now is, like, now people are sort of nullifying Haaland or nullifying KDB and saying, no, if we cut out the passing line to Haaland, what's Haaland going to do? He tried to come and do link-up play. That's not his thing. So if you nullify Haaland and KDB, you've practically taken away 50% of their goal-scoring opportunities. And that's probably the way to go against Man City.
Didn't you say that at the start of the season?
Yeah.
And you said that about Liverpool as well. You said that Liverpool are going to have to adapt to...
Oh, yeah, with Nunes as well.
So nobody's ever disputed that when you said that. So that's why I'm confused what he's saying. But what we did say is that Man City have the experience in winning trophies.
Yeah.
So that's why they're the favourites. So what you're saying is also correct. But I think two things can be correct, bro. That they have the experience. So even though they're not playing great, it doesn't mean they're not able to ship into gear.
I didn't dispute that, but what I did say, and what I was trying to kind of hone in on is, I think we're all guilty of it. It's just it's Man City. We just expect Man City to go on.
The statistics, though, bro. You take the statistics.
You do take from the past, but
prediction.
as we're seeing in the current game, like things are literally the game's ever evolving. Like nobody saw the Premier League being the way it is this year.
Definitely.
And all I was saying is, I can see that Man City might not be the Man City of old. And even in this game, just gone, like Phil Foden, why is he? Like, he's trying to do one-on-ones against AWB, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Like, I've never seen Aaron Wan-Bissaka
before, though.
Bro,
Wan-Bissaka released it in a Messi or something.
I don't see AWB lose those one-on-ones very often. So I think that was probably the most naive tactics ever. And you wouldn't expect that of somebody of Man City's ilk or of Pep Guardiola's ilk. But it was happening time and time again. Like the eye test, we're all ignoring it because it's Man City.
Yeah, definitely.
No. Just sorry. Before one last thing, I don't think we ignore the eye test because we've all said that Man City's been playing rubbish or Liverpool's been playing rubbish.
I know, I said it.
But when you were saying that, would you have put your money on Man City not winning the title when you were saying what you were saying?
No, I wouldn't have put my money on Man City not money, but I also wouldn't have put my money on Man City winning the title. That was the point I was trying to make. I was just saying, based on the way the football was being played, I don't understand why.
But you proved my point by saying you wouldn't put your money on Man City winning the title because they're still the favourites.
Yeah, I feel like you're not listening to what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's wrap it on that anyway.
I think that's a good idea.
Let's just keep it moving. Just quickly before we go, I think we do need to just give a quick shout out to Garnacho.
Yeah.
And
Why?
Huh? What do you mean, why?
When you say we, you mean you and Marlon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
definitely.
us. Okay.
No,
cool.
not you. Definitely not you. Just again coming on, and he really did make an impact.
He's doing his thing. Back to back, solid performances.
No, he's definitely trying to put a shift in.
And also Joey, like Rashford, he scored.
Yeah,
right?
no. So you said last week that you needed him to score in a big game to think it. I didn't need that ratification.
No, you said consistency, so I'm just saying he's kind of trying to do that now, right?
Yeah, of course he's trying, but you don't score 7 goals in 7 games and then call him consistent. Then you have to wait.
No, but I think what we said last week is that he's a big game player, and I think he's proven once again that.
I never disagreed with that.
Okay.
All right, let's
We've got a wax, guys. Come on.
Fair enough.
So anyway, just to end it, Man United have got Palace midweek on Wednesday, and then obviously Man United then have Arsenal on Sunday. And then Man City's next game is against Tottenham.
Hold on, before you guys end it, because you guys have tried to speed through this. And what's going on now that you've beaten Man City? Where do you guys see yourselves finishing in the Premier League?
Let's see what happens.
No.
So realistically, I say realistically, fun fact. What I should say. If Man United, and this is obviously always ifs. If Man United win against Palace, and then when we beat Arsenal at Emirates, we will be 3 points behind of the.
With an extra game played.
Yeah, I mean, but
if Arsenal lost against Tottenham, they would have been equal.
This is what they were all banking on. If Arsenal lose against Tottenham and we beat Palace and beat Arsenal,
I wasn't anticipating Tottenham being as dead as they were.
I told you.
We're segueing on to that now anyway. Secondly, let's move to a North London derby. The Gunners continue their impressive form to heap more misery on Conte and hold their place at the top of the league with 8 clear points. Just for the record, there's no video.
I initiated that clap.
No, but there's no video. I wasn't clapping, just to let people know.
You just want to celebrate someone this week.
Yeah, exactly. So only fair to start with you, Strives, and what you took from... Because I, from my perspective, I saw 2 different halves, even though you came away with the points. Right. But what did you think from the first to the second half?
I was impressed with both halves, actually. I think the first half... from obviously watching the game, I noticed that in the first few minutes, I was wondering what our tactics were. It looked like we were actually deploying the low block that I see teams deploy against us, and it looked like we was just holding off. And it's like we just wanted to measure up and see how Spurs were going to approach the game. And, they had a bit of the ball, and then I think 5-10 minutes in, I feel like that's when we started to turn the screw. Their tactics basically started to kind of work against them. Obviously, they play 5 at the back, and then you'll see they had like 5 players all in a straight line at the same time, and then you've got your 2 players protecting them. So you've got 7 players behind the ball, and what that then does is you're basically leaving the midfield maestros. The great Thomas Partey, the freaking Odegaard, yeah. I can't even get my words out because the guys are so amazing. You're leaving that magic in the middle to just work. And basically what happened is we were just too much for Tottenham. I feel like the play was great. I feel like Saka was absolutely phenomenal. I think from what I've seen around and heard, I feel like some people are being a bit tough on Sessegnon actually, because I feel like he was against Saka. I mean, what did you expect from him? It didn't matter if it was him. It didn't matter if it was Perisic.
What are people saying about Sessegnon?
Yeah,
they're just basically saying that Conte got it wrong. Like, why would you play him there? Like, I've heard some people say maybe you should have just got Davis into the team. Some people talk about Perisic, but
I'd agree with that.
Because I think...
But Saka would have cooked them as well then.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at.
Saka's in hot form at the moment.
But it would have been somebody who's a bit more defensively adept.
And then I've heard also that the chances that Sessegnon got, because he did. Apparently, if it was Perisic, it might have gone differently. But
I think so.
Well, we're discounting the great Aaron Ramsdale.
Yeah, Ramsdale had a good game.
Yeah,
he did. Kept you in it.
Yeah, so basically, where I'm at with it is it didn't really matter what Spurs brought to the table. We were always going to steamroll them. I'm not going to front and act like I expected the 3 points. I expected the 3 points against Newcastle and a point against Tottenham. So I thought we'd get 4 points from those two fixtures. It's just happened in the reverse way.
What do you expect against Man United?
You know what I expect against Man United? I expect us
Tell us, please.
I just want to hear it on wax so I can listen to it back next week.
Yeah, bro, I expect us to...
Go on.
We are going to obliterate Manchester United at the Emirates.
All right.
Yeah?
Cheers.
We're going to obliterate Manchester United at Emirates. I think what's happened with Manchester United fans, and I will come back to the Spurs thing, but this quick segue, is you guys have forgotten. You've gone on a good, decent little run. Since November, you haven't lost and what have you not. But you also have forgotten that since November, we've had a World Cup. So we haven't been playing that much football. So
I hear that.
You guys are moving absolutely bonkers. You've got so many games to come, to play. Sorry. So you've got...
I will full strive off that, though.
You'll strive off what?
Playing those games. Like, I know we'll feel tired, but I think in this period, the momentum is building with us.
So so did you strive off it when you had those games when you was trying to obviously qualify for the next round of Europa and ended up getting battered by Aston Villa 3-1?
North London Derby.
But that was back then, man. This is now.
Oh, it's different now, is it?
Of course it is, because we've got momentum.
Pull it back.
Next week, yeah.
Give him more
Tune in.
adjectives.
You're not going to start swinging on the show in a second.
Tune in
The
next
sound bites
week.
are going to be around.
So yeah, back to the North London Derby. So then obviously we've got the second half now where... Oh yeah, sorry. So I started off by saying I wasn't confident because I actually expected... like our record at Spurs is dreadful. Like it's known fact that we haven't won there since 2014. I think it's 2 draws, 6 losses. So to get a point, I would have been okay with, right? So, but what I did say, and to anybody that would listen, is if we are going to beat them, we will do it in the first half, and it literally that's what happened.
But
so,
that's nothing either, because Spurs always losing the first half.
No, but it's nothing new. But then North London Derby, form goes out the window. Yeah. And in my opinion, this is potentially Arsenal's biggest test purely. So thus far, purely because...
Mentality-wise.
The history...
I think Man United would be the biggest test, bro. Personally.
No. In the context, Spurs is definitely...
No, bro.
Arsenal have not won there or...
For just over 8 years.
Yeah,
just over 8 years.
That was a mad...
No, but it's still a test of what he's saying because they've never won there.
Yeah. And considering the run that we've got as well, we just dropped points against Newcastle. People were expecting this to potentially be the beginning of the collapse. I personally think this was the biggest test of our season thus far.
Did they those strives? Did they?
Did they what?
Did they think that you was going to really collapse? I mean, Tottenham have been awful.
I did. I'll be honest, I did.
No, I didn't.
I did. Particularly when I find that Arsenal were away, I was like, oh yeah, Tottenham, this is your chance.
How big this game was, it's not every day that a goalkeeper gets kicked by a fan, bro. That's how big the game was, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Arsenal has gone to every London team away and we've dealt with them. I mean, Arsenal have been different gravy this season.
Fulham.
But
that wasn't a dealing.
But I still wonder.
But it wasn't a dealing, he said dealt with.
But we've dealt with every single person.
You dealt with Tottenham, you dealt with Chelsea.
No, I don't know what context you meant.
Oh, okay,
yeah. We've come away. We've won.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, So and then obviously going on to the second half. The second half was a different test. It was now, can you preserve this lead? Can you soak up the pressure that Spurs are going to bring onto you? I think if you look at the stats, I think Tottenham actually had more possession, more shots than us. What have you not? So that was now a resolute, total, complete defensive performance, and it just looked like a team that is capable of going all the way.
It was worthy of a round of applause that we gave it.
Yeah,
including Marlon.
Some of us I gave him 2 clicks.
Marley and Dre, man. But there's a lot to say about Arsenal. What can we say about Tottenham? Because
before you go,
Ella. No, can you say your piece, please?
No, so before you move on to Tottenham, I think
I'm going to explode right now.
We need to speak on it. That's a bit more on Arsenal because, obviously, we talk about certain midfielders, Casemiro, Rodri, and co. But if you watch that game on was it yesterday? Yeah, you can't deny the type of player Thomas Partey is. Like he is, and he plays in that pivot by himself.
You can't see me, but I'm nodding in agreement right now.
He's a rock. He's he can break lines. He's got pressure resistance. He can do everything.
We'll see.
And the thing, we will. And the thing is, if imagine Rodri at Man City right now, but then you replace him with Partey.
Come on,
bro. Partey is amazing.
He doesn't last. He's a
baller.
He's amazing.
Do you know why he doesn't last? Because Pep doesn't like Africans. I hate to say it.
Hey,
hate to say it. It doesn't last.
Just to let everyone know that's Joey's own opinion. Doesn't represent podcast.
And another thing,
your local radicalist.
And another thing, obviously, I think Arsenal are missing Jesus, but we have to give credit to Nketiah for this.
He's a player, man.
That's what he's doing. Like his hold up play needs to improve.
No. I've never disagreed. No.
Okay, go on.
Check
even though we are missing Jesus, has it felt like we've missed Jesus?
No. So the downgrade hasn't seemed as bad as people thought.
You think it's a downgrade?
No. They're two different players. Jesus will. So let's say against Newcastle, Arsenal needed Jesus, someone to come in when you're playing a low block, but Nketiah was always going to score more goals because he's a poacher and he's a goal scorer. So I think what Arsenal needs to do now is get a loan signing, like what United have done, who's completely different from Jesus and Nketiah.
Can I just say, I saw Nketiah in the right back positions quite often, bro.
Yeah, he works.
Bringing the ball back. So
it's a good trait.
That's what I'm saying. There's not that much of a drop off.
But it's a quality though.
Because Jesus was also doing that same action as well, like action man. Nketiah is also an action man.
Remember I said that he's the kind of player that soaks up and he learns from people around him.
Did.
And Nketiah, and I used to be one of the people that wasn't always sure about Nketiah, but he's kept me quiet.
He's improved. I think in a crazy twist of fate, I think he actually Jesus getting injured might be a benefit of Arsenal because Nketiah actually looks lively. He's obviously not scoring as much. I think he had a couple of chances at him yesterday's game.
Yeah, he snatched it.
So
he should have put away, but I think they're going to come.
Yeah,
they're going to come.
It's a good way for him to get into the team.
Yeah.
Like he's grabbing it.
Yeah.
He's showing. Like he didn't score in that game, but everyone watching could tell positions he was taking up.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing really well, like for his age as well.
One thing I would hope from what Nketiah is doing is that when Jesus comes back, that Arteta gives him a fair chance because there was games that Jesus played 90 minutes and Nketiah could have come on for the last 20, 30, but he come on for the last 10. So hopefully now he's proven that he done it last season and given a chance he can do it again. So hopefully Arteta can give him more of a chance when Jesus comes back.
What do we make of Arsenal's defence?
I thought it was good.
They weren't really tested.
Yeah, do you feel like
Ramsey was man of the match, so they were tested?
No, but I think
Thomas Partey
offers so much protection that they didn't really have to do a lot in that game, and I think that's like another kudos to Arsenal's defensive structure.
Yeah, I feel like Kulusevski was asking a few questions. Son was very disappointing. Kane.
But he needs to figure out if he wants to be a striker or a DM. But he goes so deep, it annoys me. And in the North London derby, allow it, bruv.
But he's got no one threading him the balls. Pause.
Yeah,
and not only that as well, Lloris that's
what I was going to say.
That blows my mind.
We need to talk about that underwhelming goalkeeper. Lloris is I think he's a fraud. I'm going to say it. I actually think he's a fraud of a goalkeeper.
A World Cup champion. Fraud.
Does anyone remember what he did in that World Cup? Like, was there any heroics?
Yeah, there was some games. There was.
Was there?
I think it's
I can't remember any, but
he's a different keeper for France.
He had a couple of howlers too.
He did have howlers. Yeah.
He is a different keeper for France, to be fair.
But even in this game, do you see even our second goal?
Yes.
Could you potentially put that on Hugo as well? Because he did the route one ball to Kane, one in the ball to stick with Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, you know the ball's not sticking with your players.
So what was he meant to do? Play it short? Arsenal, if Arsenal
Short
press,
was
like
not- that was not the
you
option.
can't blame him for kicking a ball long and
Yeah, but you know what?
The second balls.
You know, we've all played football and we've all obviously taken instruction from coaches and what have you. And sometimes when you're in the game and you're playing a game, you can sometimes understand where, okay, the tactics that's been administered isn't working. And I just felt like sending the ball out long and expecting it to stick to Kane or Kane's going to do the flick on, it was always going to come straight back at you. And I feel like obviously I'm quite sure. I'm not sure if you guys know. Obviously, I'm standing at 5'9", but I've played up front, right? So when you're playing up front and you want
This guy.
and you want the ball to stick, it's quite a tough job to do it, and obviously do it successfully when you've got like the likes of Gabriel, Saliba, and that is. But he was up against a very good defense, and I just felt like it was a little bit naive. I might be being harsh here,
But I bet the funniest thing is, there's probably multiple times in that game that Lloris did that same thing and nothing came of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, like
you
I
can
said,
now blame Lloris for that. It's like, that happens, then you got the second ball, you got midfield, defence, then the goalkeeper.
it was a question. It was like, could you blame him
Do you
for
think
that?
he should have saved that shot? That Odegaard.
I think it was a good shot. I don't know.
Yeah, that would felt like bottom bins, boy.
Do you feel like De Gea or a keeper of that level would be saving that?
Maybe.
I don't think
know.
Alisson or personally, I don't think De Gea.
It was a very good shot.
Yeah, it was.
And it was surprising as well.
Drilled it.
I'm not saying it wasn't, but he had been doing speculative shots before that. So I think when you see Odegaard on the ball as a keeper in training, like personally, I'm expecting Alisson to save that. I'm expecting De Gea and Ederson to save that as well. I don't know. You lot.
What does this win do for you guys? How do you view Arsenal now when you think about the Premier League? Because, I mean, let me just leave it there. Well, how do you view them after that game? Did it do anything extra for you, or was it expected?
Yeah, I think so. No, I think it definitely the mentality, and I knew that was a big game, but I didn't actually know that Arsenal had that kind of record at White Hart Lane. So now on top of that, that's definitely like solidified my opinion of Arsenal playing the best team in the league. Best football in the league. But I just can't help have that feeling of like, what are Tottenham doing, man? Like, no heart, man. It's a derby, man. Come on.
Speaking of records and Tottenham, so
Jesus.
Conte. So he's big 6 records. He's only won 2 games out of 13. He has a win percentage of 15%, and he's a top class manager. And a top class manager, he does the same thing week in, week out, and at some point you hope he changes tact. So I think, Spurs didn't do well, but I think a lot needs to be looked at Conte, because sometimes you can't just keep on talking about and complaining about you haven't got the right man, you haven't got the right players. Sometimes managers have to manage, innit?
But he made an attempt to change in this game, and I think we kind of ripped him the session, playing the wing back.
Oh, but he plays. He does wing backs all the time.
Yeah, but he doesn't change his formation. Yeah, and the thing is as well, he's in his pressers. He was talking about like trying to put the pressure on Mikel Arteta, saying this is now your opportunity to prove that your title challenges this game, what have you not. Make sure you behave yourself. Paraphrased. Yeah, paraphrased.
I think his English is not that good.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Paraphrased. Yeah, but then what you saw Tottenham players doing the very thing he accused or warned us from doing, and then all of a sudden he's changed his tune and said only Arsenal and City are in the title race. So. I mean, who else is in the title race?
I mean, if he's saying City, we're 1 point behind City.
Yeah, 100.
How are we not in there?
Who's we?
Man United, obviously, not Crystal Palace.
Yeah, we digress.
Boy.
Anyway, I thought it was a good test for Arsenal, especially where we just had the news that we got hijacked by Chelsea the day before.
You said that last week, though, right? It was getting a bit boring. Chelsea stealing all your signings.
Yeah, it's pretty unoriginal. But that being said, as well, like if you don't mind me just quickly just commenting on it, I do feel that it's not as big a deal as some of our younger gooners were making out. I saw some of the younger gooners around me just like literally having a baby over it. But what I will say is a little bit embarrassing on Edu's part. And I say that because every single time we are linked to a player, we don't do the business and we don't do it swiftly.
And the whole world hears about it.
And the whole world hears about it. If you have a top end and you have like a border that you're not willing to cross in order to make to get a transaction done, get to that point sooner. Move on, and let's do our business swiftly. Like every single time we were linked with Locatelli, it didn't get done. That Vlahovic, guy.
What are those players doing now?
bro, I hear you, but I'm not focusing on that aspect of it. I'm just kind of focusing on what our intentions were. Every single time we're linked with somebody, it seems to be that we don't get it across the line unless it's a Man City.
You're saying Edu needs to be a bit more efficient?
I just think, like, don't get me wrong, the transfer policy and Arsenal being steadfast in that, you can see that over some time that it has benefited the club, but there's always a gem and something that you can learn from any situation.
I respect it though. I respect it because the fact of the matter is, Chelsea has spent 100 million on this Ukrainian guy that is
who knows?
Is a theory that he's going to be good.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of money.
I think the point is if you've identified him as a target and that was in the Champions League, early in the Champions League when they identified him, get to the point where you know what the price is going to be and then do that before the window so that on January the 1st the deal is pushed through. Yeah. If that happened, then we're not doing no hijacking. Having the
I guess in theory that works, but if they're saying their price was 100 million,
that means they're going in hot. We're out. I'm out.
They were out.
No, but it took too long. We were linked to this dude, I think probably from summer. Then we was hearing about him before the World Cup. We've offered him like 50 grand a week, which is a massive pay rise. He was probably getting 3 grand a week in Shakhtar Donetsk or something like that. I'm just throwing figures out there. I don't know that for sure. But I know we offered him 40 to 50 grand a week. Chelsea's come and doubled it and they've offered 100 mil. I'm not saying that we should have done that. But what I am saying is, you know what your top end is. Get to that point sooner. Do your business swifter, and we move on.
Bro, I hate Arsenal, and even this emotional roller coaster has been pissing me off. I said it in a group, bro. Like, just get it done.
I just feel like there's a teachable moment in every scenario, and that's our teachable moment. So I'm not moaning that if we didn't get him, what have you. I'm just saying, there's a way that we need to start conducting our business so that we can be a little bit more
from a Man United perspective.
100%. I've heard their Arsenal link with Rafinha now anyway, so that might be a blessing.
Exactly.
That guy's a baller.
Yeah, we'll move on anyway.
For Barcelona, played for Leeds.
Yeah,
Rafinha.
It was linked with him in the summer as well.
Yeah. And then the same thing happened as well.
Exactly. So.
Yeah,
I hope we get some players in, because if we don't get some players in, then boy, this title race is probably.
Well, I think the next team we're moving on to need a lot more than just players.
Jeez.
It's the one and only Liverpool.
Them segues there,
yeah, going from bad to worse. I think Brighton just heap more misery on Klopp's abysmal season so far, and Joey, I don't think it's anything new, is it really?
Wow. That was brutal.
He teed him up, innit? Jeez,
Body shot. Damn. Even I feel bad for him. I never thought I'd hear myself say that.
Nah, jokes aside, this is a crisis. It's a crisis, to say the least. Obviously, like, let me. I'll live with you guys here, all you listeners. I made a deal that if Liverpool win the league, I won't say anything ever again. That was a fucking lie, bro.
It's true.
I'm fuming. I'm actually fuming. I'm livid because the performance was just so flat. It was so flat, man. The legs in the middle, non-existent. We had nothing going forward. Ox, you're a nice guy. I don't want to see you anymore, bro, man.
You gotta go, Black.
You gotta leave, bro, man. Like, Naby, I'm so happy to be seeing the back of Naby Keita. I'm just going through the whole team, and there's just like nothing good to say about anybody in the team. It was such a flat performance. I've not seen this kind of performance since I'd say Gerard Houllier days.
How much do you put that down to Brighton actually being really, really good at the minute?
Well, again, if you listen to the last episode, I said Arsenal and Brighton played the best football in the league for me. Brighton were good, but they weren't exceptional. They weren't exceptional. They could have played a mid-table team at the same rate. They could have played a mid-table team at the same rate, and it would have been 1-0 or 2-0 maybe. So I think, it's embarrassment, and but it's the kind of wake-up call or slap in the face that you need, because what was it for? Free. So it's free. Yeah, if that kind of 3-0 whitewash is the kind of slap you need to stop papering over the cracks.
Yeah.
Our team
help Man United. Just want to throw that out there as well.
Yeah. Whatever you're saying, bro, because I'm going to start fighting somebody soon.
They beat Man United, isn't it?
All right, cool.
You know that back in the day.
I didn't even know you were backing it. I was backing you, bro.
You just swinging, bro. Boys in the hood team, bro.
You want somebody somewhere?
But back in the day when we used to play Pro Evo, bro, you used to pass the pad when you got 3-0'd. So what are you saying, Liverpool got past the pad on?
So in that example, who should pass the pad? Klopp. Are you saying he should be sacked? That was a very wise metaphor you just made there.
So is that what you think Klopp should?
I don't think Klopp should go. Like I said, I've said before, he's got loads of good credit. I think the problem with our team, if I actually analyse it honestly, we're missing Nunes.
Oh my God. You've gone to new lows, Jerry.
No. Seriously though, we didn't have anything. No pressing at the front. We didn't have any legs, and I think Nunes has kind of made us look a bit better because there's so much pressing and defending from the front foot. We saw without that kind of fake injection that it gives the team how bad we really, really are, and that's saying a lot for somebody who has the highest attempts on goal, but not the actual goals to match it. So him not being there just shows how flat we are, and there's really no excuses other than a poor summer window and consecutively poor transfer windows.
So at what point do you guys say we have to start looking at Klopp?
No, we have to look at Klopp right now. We have to look at Klopp because his team selection was poor. I don't think...
what were the mistakes?
You got Fabio Carvalho, you got Harvey Elliott. If you're going to come in and play these teams, why are you playing guys who have less legs than Thiago? With Thiago,
can we?
Henderson hasn't got any legs anymore.
But why could? So you'd have had a midfield of what would your midfield tree be? Or ideal starting?
There's no ideal starting midfielder, but you're trying things, bro. But you're not trying. For me, you didn't try the right things. It was a bit of a lazy selection.
So my thing is that I think for a long time people have been saying Liverpool need to refresh their midfield, and on multiple occasions you just seem to be buying forward. So you spent Nunes. And now you've signed Gakpo. Mm-hmm. But why would you sign Gakpo when you need a midfielder? So that's the question.
Gakpo do as well, by the way.
Gakpo, again, it was like the last game. There's not really much you can expect him to do in those games unless you think he's going to come in and play like Mane or Salah, because that's what everybody's looking for. But he's not going to do that, especially when your team is just playing horribly. So I'm reserving judgment on him until I see him in for me, a real match environment. But just what you were saying. Yeah, I think that's terrible I don't think it's terrible that we signed Gakpo because we should be signing Gakpo.
Do you think you needed him?
No, hang on, let me finish. We should be signing Gakpo because we have no attacking line. Remember, we've got loads of injuries. Jota's out long term. Firmino's out long term. Luis Diaz is out. So we got 3 of our front.
But so is your midfield out technically.
Hang on, and then in our defence we've made a couple decent signings. If I'm going to be honest, but we haven't signed anybody in our midfield for God knows how long.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying we shouldn't sign Gakpo. I'm saying you have to do both.
Or prioritise one over the other.
I was just going to ask that. What should be your priority? Because
we've got more midfield legs than we have attacking legs.
Can I ask
in our
you?
squad?
Do you?
Yeah. So,
but you can play Harvey Elliott and Carvalho on either side.
They don't play there.
They can.
They don't play there.
Carvalho plays on the left or right.
No, Carvalho plays in midfield.
But for Fulham, he played. I'm sure he played left or right.
For Fulham,
yes, so Klopp can do the same thing. But what I'm trying to say, essentially,
if Klopp doesn't see you in that position,
got
he's
players
not going to play
there
you in that position.
But Klopp is who we're questioning at the moment.
Yeah. But you lot are saying we should be signing midfielders.
Yeah,
we've signed. Technically, we've signed midfielders, but I don't think the midfielders we've signed are good enough or at the level where they need to be. In terms of actual manpower now, we have more manpower in the midfield than we have up front. So that's a bigger crisis. Even though the guys that we have in the midfield aren't the greatest right now, or they don't have the legs.
Who are you referring to? Who are you referring to?
Jordan Henderson, bro.
Only?
No, you said who? I'm going to say who and give a little blurb. Jordan Henderson, still for me a decent player, but he's getting on. We should have been looking to phase him out 2 years ago, in my opinion. Thiago, you brought Thiago in and you expect him to do run like a 26-year-old. The guy's nearly 40, bro. If you're going to have Thiago there, you need legs around him. We don't have that. So he can
just play.
But do you think that's what's been affecting his performance? Because that's what I was kind of
affecting his performance.
And Thiago, because I don't think Thiago's been.
No, Thiago's been decent. He's been decent, but he hasn't got the support around him.
Thiago does what you expect.
Yeah. And I think I saw an article today.
I'm not sure
the Klopp has to make a decision on whether Thiago stays or go, and I think that's nonsense. You need to let him see out his contract at the club, but get legs in. And then, guys, I think we're also. I said it to you as well. The injury crisis.
It is a bit mad as well.
It's another crisis, man.
What about Salah though?
Like, well, you can't expect Salah to bail you out every single time. I think Strive made a mention last week about Salah still getting decent numbers but not doing what he does. Like, or Liverpool used to be playing with the guys all over the pitch that can do game winners.
Yeah,
you can't always rely on your talisman. It's not a good way to move forward.
It's the curse, bro. It's the curse.
The 350 rule, isn't it?
It's not the 350 curse. You said it makes you rubbish.
It makes you meaty.
He's not been needy.
He hasn't been sorry. By his high standards. He hasn't been.
No, not by his high standards.
Yeah,
by football standards, he's been a decent player this season, but he's not been what we need.
He can continue like that for me, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think Klopp, he seems like he's waiting for the right signings, which I kind of respect as well. Like in terms of midfield, because he's been like Bellingham looks like he might go.
Bellingham doesn't. I'm hearing stuff the way he might go Real Madrid, bro. So like, it's a bit nonsensical for me. I get it and I respect it when it works, but when it doesn't work, we have to do inquiry.
Backups.
Yeah, you got to do an inquiry, man.
Because Klopp said that January is not the right moment to be signing.
It never is, in my opinion.
But for you guys, I think you kind of need something.
What happened? What's going on with that guy from Juventus? The midfielder. Is it Arthur? Yeah, is he still there?
He's been...
They terminated
they terminated it.
No, they haven't terminated it yet.
Not yet.
But they want, I think...
God damn.
No, hang on. It's rumours. It's rumours.
The guy was on the operating table for
That's what
a hot
I'm saying.
minute.
It's been...
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
That's what I'm saying. It's been a crazy show there.
It's been a shit show. It has been a shit show. And I don't think anybody will deny that. But I think what everybody's waiting for is...
I mean, you guys have been no different to
Arab
Tottenham.
money.
Do you think...
Waiting for some Arab money.
Do you think if Michael Edwards was there, you would have made some of these signings?
I would say a hard no.
Yeah.
A hard no.
So who's making these signings?
It's definitely not.
It's not Klopp.
You think it's Jurgen Klopp?
Yes, Klopp.
Do you want to put this on Jurgen Klopp so bad, bro?
Because he's making the signings.
If Pep was there, would you say it's Pep?
Yeah, it's Pep. So the players at City are Pep signings.
They're not Pep signings, bro.
So whose signings are there?
They've the same system that Liverpool have.
Yeah,
Liverpool still had when Michael Edwards there. They still have it now.
So
it's the same system.
But I think Klopp has a bigger say now. Because who replaced Michael Edwards?
No, I can't tell you names.
But I don't think anyone came in. So that's what I think. I think Klopp
somebody did come in. Somebody did come in, but I think at the same time, we in the modern day football, especially where you have systems, it's not really the manager's decision.
But he has a say.
He definitely has a last say. What tends to happen is they probably bring like 3 targets and say, this is who we can get.
But then they say, I like this player. So I know, for example, Nunez is somebody
that Klopp wanted.
But saw him.
Exactly.
But interesting fact, I think he didn't want Salah and he didn't want Mane, did he? He wanted Götze and someone else, another German player.
Okay.
No, I think he might have wanted Mane. Maybe.
No, he didn't want Mane.
God forbid.
He didn't want Mane. He didn't want Salah.
So
I'll find articles.
So what are you saying? Are you saying that Klopp is incapable?
Yes.
I'm happy you asked that. Klopp is incapable of
making good signings.
Okay, is it his job to make good signings?
Yes. Well, he has the final say.
No. That you didn't.
It's not.
It's not his job
to make good signings.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not his job. What I'm trying to say is like, without Michael Edwards,
you're saying that it's his job, bro.
No. What I'm saying, he has a big say.
Definitely.
So right now, I think Liverpool have given Klopp the reign, or he's given a big power.
You keep on saying that. You haven't.
Can I finish?
But what you're saying is wrong for the record.
Okay, let it be wrong for the record, listeners.
Nah, don't let him set you up like that.
So he's got a big say right now. And I think, as you said, if Michael Edwards there, some of these signings won't be there. And there's proof in the pudding that he wanted. I need to find the names. He wanted Götze and someone else from Germany. They gave him Salah and they gave him Mane.
Sorry, hang on. Where is the proof that he wanted Götze?
Hey, listeners,
no, I'm just asking
please,
you. I'm asking
do
you.
your research yourselves because I can't find the article right now. I haven't got time.
But if you haven't signed somebody, how do you prove that this person wanted him? Because they had a conversation.
I just read newspaper articles.
So this is what I'm saying. It's nonsensical to argue on that point because the fact is we know he wanted Nunez. He's come out and said he wanted
Yes, I know. I'm saying that's what he wanted.
He didn't come out and say he wanted Götze and Götze came.
What we need to talk... Sorry, go on.
What I will say about Mane and Salah, that might be true, but it also might not be true. So that's pointless and thingy. But you can't use that as an indictment against him as a overall manager.
I'm not saying he's a crap manager.
No, but if you're saying
I'm saying you have to question he's
struggling to manage his squad, man. Let's cut the crap, man. He's struggling to manage his squad, and this is like
expand on that.
He's struggling to manage his squad, like, and when you're struggling to manage your squad, I feel like you have a duty. I feel like this is maybe where De La Strada's trying to orate himself. You have a duty to improve it, communicate to whoever the powers are, to rebuild it and identify targets and work with that person. Well, if he is doing that, we're not seeing we're not seeing the proof of that.
If Saka, Martinelli, and let's just say Odegaard was to get injured, do you think Arteta would struggle to manage Arsenal?
Yeah, we showed that last season.
Yeah,
when we lost players, Arsenal struggled.
He would struggle to manage Arsenal. However, I would expect him to identify targets to replace those persons as a matter of urgency.
Arteta, not Edu.
No, the club together.
The club together. And Arteta would have a big say in that.
But then if Edu didn't... That's exactly what I just said.
Exactly.
That's exactly...
Yeah, because you're putting it on Klopp.
No. I'm not putting it all on Klopp. I'm saying his eye for talent is questionable right now.
How?
No, because as we just said, if Michael Edwards was there, some of these signings wouldn't have happened. And the signings that you... Let me finish. And the signings that you've made...
job isn't necessarily identifying players. You do know that, right?
What's his job?
It's about the negotiation. And so, for example...
So he doesn't spot talent.
The thing that he did was getting these monies in and having us net positive. That's what his biggest thing was.
But he's also managing the team week to week as well. So he's seen them in training and what have you not. So for those three players, if we're going back to Marley Marr's example, Odegaard, Saka and Martinelli gets injured. Surely you must have seen that you're burning these dudes out. Like at some point you rotate your
one of them's done his knee in, bro. There's burnout in a knee.
Listen, injury. What I'm saying, I use Marley Marr's example. I would still put that down to the management of the team managing your squad, because my point was I feel like Klopp isn't managing his squad the best way he can be. He's meant to be a top class elite manager, and I think we all expect a little bit better from him. So obviously we can go into.
We're not going to disagree. Nobody's going to disagree with you on
that.
So
you're saying in terms of the injuries, when you say managing the squad, the amount of players that get injured.
Exactly.
So
and I feel
what should Klopp do in this situation? Do you think just manage the fit players he's got better? Because
could he not bring up some reserves though? Like he has.
Ben Doak.
I know he has. But players. I'm saying, do you think he's not scared? But in this game, surely this would have been a good game to maybe throw in some legs.
My hands are up. I think the team selection was poor. I said that.
I was just going to say to you, you did actually start off saying that.
But in previous games where, like, for example, Nottingham Forest, you should be winning that game with the team you got. That's why I'm kind of with you. But again, like Marley's question about having your key players out, especially your key attacking players, when our problem is conceding and not scoring goals.
Yeah.
Well, without your key attacking players, I know we're going to move on to Brighton soon. Without your key attacking players, you had enough players on that pitch to give a better account of yourselves against Brighton.
I've already conceded that.
Yeah. Okay.
But we need to pick up Brighton now.
I was just going to say, because you said against Brighton as if Brighton are small.
Brighton are no. I didn't say. I said his point was that you're missing key players, but I'm saying you still had a good enough team when you played against Brighton. I didn't say Brighton was.
They could have given a better account of themselves.
100%.
Brighton, list their team.
Yeah, but
they've got a great team.
List their team.
Brighton outperformed them in every department, though.
Yeah.
No, I'm not disputing that. I'm saying, but Liverpool had enough on the pitch out there to give a better account of themselves. Not saying Brighton are shit, but
I think with the midfield three that we had on the pitch, we should be getting better results.
Yeah,
that's fair. Like just on their
and your back four, your back five. Sorry,
I'm just saying like just on their experience alone.
Matoma had you guys on the ropes. But I didn't watch
Arsenal on the ropes as well, bro. If I'm going to be honest,
he scored against Arsenal.
No. He
didn't have us on the ropes.
He had you on the ropes, bro.
I think he scored against Arsenal.
Okay. He had you on the ropes, man.
I think probably in Klopp's. I think the fair thing to say with Klopp is probably maybe he doesn't have a plan B more than anything else.
Yeah,
I think that's where he's struggling with.
Yeah, defo. But like we said,
no, Brighton were good though, man.
They were good, and again, obviously, Joey said before, Brighton they played great football.
Yeah.
I missed the goal though that everyone was talking about.
Welbeck's goal was amazing.
Was it Joe Gomez? He did it over.
Yeah, that was tidy.
Sorry, just one more thing. Joe Gomez, man, come on.
Watch list.
Like, you're from the ends, man. We need you, bro. We need you to do better, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. Nah, it's true. Yeah, and for me to drop Trossard from the team.
He wants to go,
cool.
blood.
That was a big call. Big call, man.
Yeah.
What do you lot think about Trossard? Because I
like him.
Yeah, I like him a lot because he banged the hat trick. Why? I think some people were opposed to him potentially being at Arsenal. How do you feel about that?
One person that I know.
I'm not crazy. I'm not mad at that. So I was going to say crazy. I'm not mad at that at all. I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah.
Like why not? I can't remember.
Utility, innit?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, even with I think what we do as Arsenal fans, we fall in love with targets. Yeah, how much did we really know about Mudryk before he became like this high profile potential signing?
Do you want to hear something interesting about Mudryk?
What's that?
I think last season Brentford wanted him for 30 million.
I heard that his first.
I think he dodged a massive bullet.
I think his first valuation was 25 mil. No, you know why we didn't? Because if we acquired him with the wages that we were offering him, it would have worked because he would have been in line with our transfer strategy.
Yeah, you would have the structure.
You can't bring him in with over 100 mil and then Saka, we're still negotiating Saka's new contract. I think Martinelli's on about 90 or so per week. You can't bring in this fella out of nowhere and he's earning more than...
Kind of analyse the behaviour. Like, you've got somebody who like was showing how much they really wanted to go Arsenal and at the drop of a hat, he doesn't want to go Arsenal anymore.
He did.
No, it's the money, innit?
Yeah,
No, but so
definitely.
not even the money though. Like, bro, like, you're not ashamed of yourself, bro. You're out here just like,
Nah, man.
yeah,
I'm
but
not
saying
saying
that.
So
what's he going to say?
He didn't look happy.
I want to go Arsenal.
He didn't look happy in that unveiling, man.
Yeah,
Come on,
I don't know about that.
He didn't look happy.
I don't know about that. But I'm just
did
saying.
you see the way Chelsea received him? They didn't even receive him properly. You know, if that was the Emirates, you know, we would have made a big deal of this dude.
As a man, if you were twerking, would you not want to follow through on that twerking?
I mean, as a man, I don't twerk for anybody.
I'm just saying, but if you,
I can't answer that hypothetical question.
If someone got gun to you and said twerk,
I will tell them shoot me.
On the promises.
I'll tell them shoot me, bro.
You have to follow your twerking
and in my eulogy, I expect all my guys to say, yeah, he was a real one.
He twerked for everybody behind the cameras.
Boy, I think it's only a great segue just to move on to the London derby, which was the other one, Chelsea Palace.
All that derby, bro.
Well,
West London? No, sorry.
No.
it is a London derby, isn't it?
It's a London derby, but the real derby is Palace and Brighton. Done. No.
Come on,
Yeah.
London Road
I never
derby.
understand.
They're close.
London Road.
Is Brighton close to Palace?
Yeah.
London Road, bro.
Brighton's close to us.
Sussex.
Brighton's probably about on a clear road, about 30 minutes away.
Oh, is it?
No, you're doing...
No, on a clear, 100%.
On a clear road, yeah.
Yeah, no, it is.
No. You're definitely doing way over 70.
At the top, at top 40 then.
Way over
Yeah,
70.
if you left to go Brighton at like 5 a.m. in the morning, you would get there
At 5:30?
Yeah.
Where are you leaving from? Croydon?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so Chelsea's win gives Potter a little bit more breathing room with a narrow 1-0 win.
Don't know about breathing room.
No?
Nah.
I mean, I think what Chelsea are doing at the moment, and I think why they will bide their time with Potter, is they seem to be going down the transfer the transfer strategy of just building a complete new team. They're doing it young, so I think they want to obviously get a young foundation. I don't know what they're going to do with their more experienced players like your Raheem Sterlings, etc., etc. But I know we call it scattergun approach, which it is, but the one trend that you can pick up from Chelsea's dealings is they're going a lot younger and they're looking to probably build up for the future. So
I respect the signings.
Yeah. Do you
They're building
think
something
it's
proper.
scattergun? I don't think it is a scattergun.
It looks like it because they're signing everyone so quickly. And
but I don't think it is.
a lot of the names some people might not know, so it appears like
I mean,
scattergun. But
now that we're linked with Rafinha, they're probably going to try and sign Rafinha. That's you know what I mean.
I can only hope so.
Whingers.
Hang on, Arsenal definitely... No, let me not talk about Arsenal. But yeah, Chelsea.
But how would you feel as an Arsenal fan if you lot actually signed Rafinha?
I don't see the point.
Yeah, I think that's like, bro, you
No,
stumped us.
yeah, actually, yeah.
You don't see the point?
No, yeah, actually, take that back. Yeah.
Bro, like, what's
the game,
happening
innit?
for him at Barcelona?
It's the game, man.
Barcelona already.
How I'd feel is I'd be like, okay, you guys you have intent, because if something happens to Saka, you've got somebody in there that can keep us moving in the same trajectory. So I'd be like, you know what? I see where you guys see yourselves.
Yeah, and when you look at it, the best teams have like options in every position. Like, so Saka might play in some games and Rafinha might play in other games. Like, Rafinha is a baller. Like he comes in and he makes an immediate impact.
But with Chelsea though, it does seem scattergun, but I don't think it actually is. I think they're literally just securing young talent.
Yeah.
And
on crazy contracts.
On crazy contracts, and every signing. Sorry, those contracts are too crazy.
Isn't that for fair? Like not fair play.
Those are real those are real like
it's
American contracts, man.
But what I will say, like, I think they're signing players regardless of whether Potter's there or not.
Yeah.
So I think that can actually end up working against Potter because they've made such a big outlay, and now the standard they're judging them against is increasing every time they make a signing.
Unless they say we're going to be fair in it, like these are a lot of like young players we're bringing in. Like you're going to give you time to, maybe they're trying to literally follow the Arsenal model.
Newcastle.
Yeah, I think they'll give him time. I think they'll give him another season.
I hope so, man. I hope so. I want to.
I wouldn't begrudge them for doing that neither.
No.
So it's only Chelsea's second win in 10 matches as well. But I feel even watching that game, they still weren't great, and Palace weren't great either. So just watching them, I just feel like they didn't really have much to offer.
I don't know. I don't know about Potter.
Yeah,
he's a good coach, but I don't know at the elite level. I don't know if he's the right guy. Like,
he doesn't feel like he belongs.
Yeah,
that's
he doesn't have any gravitas. I said in the group, like, yeah, he does. Yeah, that's it. The va-va-voom. He hasn't got that. Like,
he probably just did he take his whole team with him from Brighton?
Yeah, he's just happy to be there. He hasn't.
Yeah.
So what are you saying then? Because we got the mid-table clash this coming. Is it this coming weekend?
Before you say that, I just like to say,
Chelsea, Liverpool.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy they're here because misery loves company.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a big game.
Yeah.
Who's at home?
Would have been a big game in the past.
It's still a big game.
Listen, I have
top four at least.
I'll be honest. I have no expectations of that game from either Chelsea or from Liverpool. Like,
it's kind of
hopefully it's a shootout. Hopefully it's a shootout.
What day is it on? If it's on Sunday, I'm going to fall asleep. Chelsea love to make me fall asleep on a Sunday afternoon with that game.
But I do know like Klopp will be stewing.
Yeah,
and then thinking he has to do something.
I'm looking forward to that game just to kind of see who's gonna use that game as a
6 point.
Liverpool at home.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you can whoever wins that game.
Nothing.
But I think I caught that.
Bar Chelsea, I think Palace is struggling without a striker. I think they need a striker. I think they relied on Gallagher a lot last year, personally.
And they got two strikers.
Yeah, they got that. Is it Edward?
Mateta.
Yeah.
Are they injured or are they just not being used?
I just don't think they're being used properly.
They played last game.
Rotating them, yeah. They're good strikers. Palace will be all right. They'll be all right. They're going through something right now, but they've also had some opposition that probably you ain't expecting them to
I hope they go on a decent run after the next game.
After Wednesday, yeah.
I hope they go on a decent run starting Wednesday.
That's what I would hope for as well.
Yeah, man. So obviously we got Chelsea, Liverpool, that mid-table clash coming up, but they're obviously vying for top four, but it's looking like it's going to be a bit difficult for them to get top four because of Newcastle.
Yeah, we can slowly move on to Newcastle.
Why you said Newcastle? Look at me.
Sorry, that was just coincidence. What's wrong with this guy? He did this last week as well.
You lot flirting off.
He keeps denying his boyhood club.
No, I said it at the start. But you said you looked at him. I was like, okay, should I speak or what?
I mean, it would have been a great time for you to talk about your club, but
that's our final game for today anyway. Newcastle, who got a very late winner against Fulham, who had a very controversial. Well, I wouldn't say controversial, but it was a weird kind of penalty.
2 touches.
Yeah, which was 2 touch by Mitrovic. So I think that win just projects them, keeps them in form and keeps them at the top of the table. But I did feel a bit sorry for Fulham.
Why? Newcastle dominated that game from start to finish.
I know, but a 2-touch penalty. I mean, geez.
Well, that's on him though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Get it right.
You should if Fulham had scored that goal, you should have felt sorry for Newcastle because Newcastle dominated. But I think Newcastle, they are going to be a test for a lot of the big teams, and I don't know if they've still got to play Arsenal.
Yeah, towards the end of the season.
Have they got to play United?
I believe so.
Have you played Newcastle twice or once?
Only once you drew.
Yeah, Liverpool.
They've got to play Liverpool, big game.
Yeah. So I think anyone that comes to St James's Park is going to be a tough game, and especially now they seem to be getting their players back. Isaac just came back and scored.
They're balling.
ASM
tough to beat.
Yeah.
They conceded
Wilson,
the least in the league right now.
Yeah. So I think there'll be a test for a lot of teams, and I think their win was well deserved.
Conceded the least in the league, only lost one game.
Conceded the least and most clean sheets. All right, I think right.
Potentially.
Something like that.
Do you think they're going to secure top 4?
It's looking.
Yeah, they should. They should. I think they've got enough.
Halfway through the season.
We're not halfway yet.
But the thing is, the squad's not that big.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so injuries can play their part.
I had Newcastle finishing 8th for my predictions, so they're performing way above my expectations.
I put 6 on mine.
Did you?
I think
they're outperforming everyone's predictions.
Yeah, I think
it's a season for that. Outperforming, because obviously everyone put Liverpool at 2nd, and now they're like 9th, 8th.
But question for you, Jerry.
Oh, me again.
Are you scared if you don't make it top 4? Are you scared of what may happen next? Because we've seen that Chelsea are strengthening. All the teams that make it top 4, they'll continue to strengthen. Then you got Newcastle. So how do you think you'll fare getting back into the top 4 if you don't make it?
Well, are you up to date with kind of like the latest rumours and goings on? So I think Liverpool are actually in the process, apparently, of
being sold,
being like procured by, and I think the likelihood is Qatari as well. So I mean, and I think Man United's in the same position.
Yeah.
So it just seems like now is the time for the oil money to come in and kind of thingy. So it's just showing that some of these people can't compete. With all of these things, and they're ready to get out of it. I think the other day Liverpool was looking at selling shares so that they can afford buying new midfielders. So I'm not worried, because Liverpool again, they'll drop down, but they'll always kind of cream always rises to the top. So yeah,
I think we've talked about all the main games, and I think we've got a lot of big fixtures coming up, as I said before. But before we go, we have to touch on the back pages, where we'll talk about players, clubs or managers that we want to give a positive shout out to. If I start with De La Strada.
I was thinking it's a toss-up between the Forest manager or the Southampton manager. But I'm going to give it to the Southampton manager, because obviously they've had some good wins. One in the Carabao Cup against City, then they beat Everton. It still didn't take them off the bottom 3, but I think it's still...
Beat Palace in the FA Cup as well.
Yeah, and I think when the manager came in, they lost 4 games in a row. But I think they're eventually starting to now get the new manager bounce. So hopefully they'll kick on from there. And on top of that, he was heavily criticised.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why he was being criticised after 4 games, but... Yeah, so that's my...
Southampton were bad in those 4 games, though.
Yeah, but people were saying like he's not cut out for it. He should be remain in the Championship, but at some point you need a chance.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
I didn't realise he was the Luton manager before that. And Luton used to always put him in my accumulators. He used to sort me out.
Strava?
Back pages, I'm going to give it to... I've taken a T away from his name, Rashford.
You can choose where that T goes.
The guy's been on form, and he's been exceptional. And obviously, Speedy Gonzalez, sometimes you might run into your keeper a couple of times, but he seems to know when to press shoot nowadays. And obviously, that was a master stroke and cheating Manchester City, and then finishing up the game by scoring the winner. Man, so I think he deserves to be on the back pages.
Malima?
I'm going to go with Mitoma for Brighton. This season he's just been balling out. He's actually an amazing player, and hopefully someone like Ten is watching that and potentially goes in for him at some point, because he's this might sound absolutely outrageous to say, but the way he dribbles with the ball, he actually reminds me of Iniesta. If you watch him, quality player. Mitoma.
You said he studied dribbling. Did you hear that? He studied dribbling. He done like a degree. A dissertation on dribbling or something.
That's a real stat?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because his ball retention. And
it's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's me.
Joey?
I don't know if anybody's mentioned him, but I want to give this one to Roberto De Zerbi.
Yeah.
Man, it's business as usual at Brighton for me. I can't recall where they are in the table, but I know they're up there. They've just been playing good football.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, the second best. I would have given it to Arteta, but I just feel like Brighton's growth has been a bit more.
Do you think he's improved Brighton?
I don't think he's necessarily improved them.
I think so.
I don't know. Maybe he has. I don't know. But I know for sure continuing what was being done before is a difficult job, and he's managed to do it.
To do that, yeah.
I think my other thing is shout I wanted to give as well was to Fulham as well.
You only get one.
I know. I was just saying, but honourable mention. Fulham midweek game. Who did they play? Was it
Chelsea?
Leeds?
No, they play Chelsea.
No, sorry. Aston Villa for Friday's game to Emery, because that was a good game. That game was cold. That game was cold. And Aston Villa were doing bits, man. But yeah.
So just on De Zerbi, I think he's with Brighton. They score more goals now than they did under Potter. So he's obviously taken them
to another level.
Yeah,
but I think that might be down to Matomio as well. You know, that guy is tenacious. Bro.
But Marsh is scoring. So he's making everyone forever.
Exactly.
He's improved.
He's making the team play well, man.
Liverpool, bro.
They're proper balling out, Brighton. For me, back pages.
Fuck Brighton, man.
Nah, they're doing well, bro. Come on, just chill with your 10th position, bro. I think I'll give it to Odegaard. You know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just think he really has stepped up.
Walks into the Real Madrid team.
He's been doing this for a while, though.
Yeah, I'd say he walks into
No, but I think, you know, like when they've given him the captaincy as well, he's gone up another level, and he's not only pitching in with goals, he's all over the pitch, he's assisted, like he's someone that they look to.
Pitching, I think he's Arsenal's top goal scorer of the season.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. So we're coming to the end now, but just quickly, just to recap what's coming up next week. The game's coming up. So we've got Palace United. Then we've got Man City Tottenham. That's on the Thursday.
Big game.
And then on Saturday, you've got the mid-league clash, Liverpool Chelsea.
Bro, allow it, man.
He's just talking facts, bro, man.
Allow it, though.
I mean, what? You can't allow
Then you've got Palace Newcastle. And then on the Sunday, you've got obviously Arsenal Man United.
Where we put your suckers back in your places. I can't wait.
Man City Wolves.
Hey, make sure you guys listen next week, guys. It's going to be the best episode yet.
So there's definitely some great games coming up, and we hope you tune in next week. But thank you for listening for episode 2. And we've been the podcast Pundits, and we're available on all major platforms. Tune in.
Just before we go, catch us on Instagram as well, podcast.pundits. Give us a follow. Twitter, podcastpundits_. Give us a follow there as well. And get us on TikTok as well, man. It's an emergent app. Podcast Pundits. Signing out, guys.